In the heart of the ancient kingdom of Zamar, nestled between towering mountains and lush forests, lay the village of Tandoori. In Tandoori lived a young girl named Asika. She was the daughter of the village chief, known for her curious spirit and boundless imagination. From a young age, Asika was drawn to the stories of old, tales of heroes and heroines who braved the unknown to protect their people from darkness. But there was one story that captured Asika's imagination like no other, the legend of the Great Prophecy. It was said that centuries ago, a powerful seer had foretold the coming of a chosen one, a child born under the light of a comet, who would unite the tribes of Zamar and lead them to prosperity. Asika had heard the story countless times from her grandmother, who claimed to have seen the comet with her own eyes. The old woman would sit by the fire, her voice crackling with age, as she recounted the tale of the prophecy and the hope it brought to their people. "You are destined for greatness, my child," her grandmother would say, her eyes twinkling with a mixture of pride and sadness. "You carry the blood of heroes in your veins, and one day, you will fulfill the prophecy." Asika listened to her grandmother's words with a mix of awe and skepticism. She longed to believe in the prophecy, to imagine herself as the chosen one destined to save her people. But in her heart, she couldn't shake the feeling that such things were nothing more than fairy tales, stories to comfort the weary and the lost. And so, Asika lived her life torn between the world of dreams and the reality of her village. She spent her days helping her father oversee the affairs of Tandoori, attending to the needs of the villagers and ensuring that peace and harmony prevailed. But deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling that her destiny lay beyond the boundaries of her village, that her life was meant for something greater than the simple rhythms of everyday life. And as the years passed and Asika grew into a young woman, that feeling only grew stronger. Little did she know that the winds of destiny were about to sweep her away on an adventure beyond her wildest dreams, one that would test her courage, her strength, and her belief in the power of the great prophecy. Asika's days in the village of Tandoori were filled with routines and responsibilities. She tended to the fields, helped the village healer gather herbs, and listened to the elders' stories by the fire at night. Yet, despite the comfort of familiarity, a restlessness stirred within her. One fateful evening, as the village gathered to celebrate the harvest festival, the sky suddenly erupted in a blaze of color. A comet streaked across the heavens, its tail blazing like a fiery banner. Gasps of awe rippled through the crowd as everyone watched in wonder. Asika's heart raced as she gazed up at the celestial display. Could it be? Was this the comet of the prophecy, her being the chosen one? A shiver ran down her spine as a sense of purpose stirred within her. That night, Asika couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned in her bed, her mind consumed by thoughts of the prophecy and what it might mean for her. In the quiet darkness of her room, she made a decision: she would seek out the truth of the prophecy, no matter where it led her. With determination burning in her heart, Asika rose before dawn and set out on a journey into the unknown. She traveled alone, her footsteps echoing in the silence of the forest as she ventured deeper into the wilderness. Days turned into weeks as Asika journeyed across the land, encountering strange creatures and overcoming perilous obstacles along the way. She crossed rushing rivers and treacherous mountains, guided only by the light of the comet shining bright in the sky above. At last, Asika arrived at the foot of the great mountain, a towering peak that loomed over the land like a silent sentinel. Legend spoke of a hidden temple nestled within its slopes, a place of ancient wisdom and mystical power. With a sense of awe and trepidation, Asika began her ascent up the mountain, her eyes fixed on the summit gleaming in the distance. She climbed higher and higher, her muscles aching with exertion, until at last, she reached the entrance to the temple. The air was thick with anticipation as Asika stepped inside, the torchlight casting eerie shadows on the walls. She moved forward with cautious steps, her heart pounding in her chest as she delved deeper into the heart of the temple. And then, she saw it, a chamber bathed in golden light, its walls adorned with intricate carvings and symbols of ancient power. At the center of the chamber stood a pedestal, upon which rested a glowing orb of pure energy. Asika approached the orb with trembling hands, her pulse quickening with each step. She reached out and touched the orb, and in that moment, a surge of power coursed through her veins like wildfire. She felt a connection, a resonance with the energy of the orb, as if it were speaking to her, awakening something deep within her soul. And then, she heard a voice that spoke of destiny and purpose, of trials and tribulations yet to come. Asika closed her eyes and listened, her heart filled with determination and resolve. She knew now what she must do. She must embrace her destiny as the chosen one, and fulfill the prophecy that had brought her to this sacred place. With newfound strength and courage, Asika emerged from the temple, ready to embark on the greatest adventure of her life. The comet blazed overhead, lighting her path as she set out to unite the tribes of Zamar and bring peace to the land, but little did she know that dark forces were gathering, eager to thwart her at every turn. And so, the stage was set for a journey that would test Asika's courage, her strength, and her belief in the power of the great prophecy. Asika journeyed across the vast expanse of Zamar, her footsteps guided by the light of the comet blazing overhead. Along the way, she encountered people from all walks of life, farmers tending to their fields, traders peddling their wares, and warriors honing their skills for battle. With each passing day, Asika grew stronger and more determined to fulfill her destiny as the chosen one. She faced countless trials and tribulations along the way, fierce storms, treacherous terrain, and encounters with wild beasts. But through it all, she never wavered in her resolve. She drew strength from the words of the prophecy and the power of the orb that pulsed within her, guiding her every step of the way. One day, as Asika traveled through a dense forest, she stumbled upon a group of refugees fleeing from a neighboring kingdom ravaged by war. Their faces were drawn with exhaustion and fear, their eyes filled with desperation. Moved by compassion, Asika offered them food and shelter, and listened as they told tales of suffering and loss. She vowed to help them find a safe haven where they could rebuild their lives and live in peace once more. With the refugees at her side, Asika continued her journey, her heart heavy with the weight of their suffering. She knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger, but she refused to turn back. As they traveled, word of Asika's quest spread far and wide, inspiring hope in the hearts of all who heard her tale. People began to speak of her as a hero, a savior sent by the gods to deliver them from darkness. But with her newfound fame came new challenges. Dark forces lurked in the shadows, plotting to thwart Asika's quest and plunge Zamar into chaos once more. One night, as Asika and her companions made camp in the wilderness, they were ambushed by a band of mercenaries hired by a mysterious figure known only as the Dark Lord. The mercenaries attacked with ruthless efficiency, their swords flashing in the firelight as they sought to capture Asika and extinguish the light of the prophecy once and for all. But Asika fought with a ferocity born of desperation, her sword flashing like lightning as she defended herself and her companions. With each swing of her blade, she drove back the mercenaries, her heart ablaze with determination to protect those she held dear. At last, the mercenaries were forced to retreat, their ranks decimated by Asika's skill and courage. As the dust settled and the stars twinkled overhead, Asika knew that the battle was far from over. But she also knew that as long as the light of the comet burned bright in the sky, she would never falter in her quest to unite the tribes of Zamar and bring peace to the land. And so, with renewed determination, Asika and her companions pressed on into the unknown, ready to face whatever trials and tribulations lay ahead on their journey to fulfill the prophecy and save their world from darkness. Asika and her companions ventured deeper into the heart of Zamar, their path winding through rugged mountains and dense forests. They had heard whispers of a hidden valley, a place of ancient magic and untold mysteries, where the secrets of the past lay waiting to be discovered. Guided by the light of the comet overhead, they pressed onward, their spirits buoyed by the hope of uncovering the truth that lay hidden within the valley's depths. As they journeyed, they encountered strange creatures and encountered magical phenomena unlike anything they had ever seen before. They marveled at towering stone pillars that seemed to reach up to the heavens themselves and shimmering pools of water that glowed with an otherworldly light. But amidst the wonder and awe, they also faced danger at every turn. Dark creatures lurked in the shadows, their eyes gleaming with malice as they watched the travelers pass by. Asika and her companions remained ever vigilant, their weapons at the ready, prepared to defend themselves against whatever horrors lurked in the darkness. At last, after many days of travel, they arrived at the entrance to the Valley of Whispers. The air was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the faint rustle of leaves and the soft murmur of distant voices. Asika and her companions exchanged nervous glances, their hearts pounding in their chests as they prepared to enter the valley's mysterious depths. With a deep breath, Asika stepped forward, leading the way into the unknown. The valley was like nothing they had ever seen before, a vast expanse of lush greenery and towering cliffs, bathed in the soft light of the comet overhead. Strange symbols adorned the walls of the cliffs, their meaning lost to the ages, while exotic flowers bloomed in abundance, their petals shimmering with vibrant colors. But amidst the beauty, there was also danger. Dark forces lurked in the shadows, their presence felt but unseen, like a whisper on the wind. Asika and her companions pressed on, their senses alert for any sign of trouble. As they journeyed deeper into the valley, they came upon a series of ancient ruins, crumbling temples and forgotten shrines that spoke of a time long past. Asika felt a thrill of excitement course through her veins as she gazed upon the ruins, knowing that they held the key to unlocking the secrets of the valley. With each step, they drew closer to the heart of the valley, where the greatest mysteries awaited. But they also drew closer to danger, for the dark forces that lurked in the shadows grew ever more powerful the deeper they ventured into the valley's depths. At last, they reached the heart of the valley, a vast cavern filled with strange artifacts and mysterious symbols. Asika felt a sense of awe wash over her as she gazed upon the wonders that lay before her, knowing that they held the key to unlocking the secrets of the past. But as they explored the cavern, they soon realized that they were not alone. Dark figures lurked in the shadows, their eyes gleaming with malice as they watched the travelers' every move. Asika and her companions prepared for battle, their weapons at the ready, knowing that they would need all their skill and courage to emerge victorious. And so, with hearts filled with determination and minds ablaze with curiosity, Asika and her companions prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead in their quest to uncover the truth hidden within the Valley of Whispers. Asika and her companions delved deeper into the Valley of Whispers, their footsteps echoing off the ancient stone walls as they navigated the labyrinthine passages of the forgotten temple. The air was thick with the scent of moss and decay, and the soft glow of their torches cast eerie shadows on the walls around them. They had come in search of the temple's most closely guarded secret, the legendary relic known as the Heart of Zamar. According to ancient legend, the heart was said to possess the power to unlock the secrets of the past and reveal the true history of the valley. But finding the relic would not be easy. The temple was filled with traps and obstacles designed to deter intruders, and dark creatures lurked in the shadows, waiting to defend their sacred treasure. As they pressed onward, they came upon a massive chamber bathed in the soft glow of bioluminescent fungi. At the center of the chamber stood a towering statue of a fearsome dragon, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Asika and her companions approached the statue cautiously, their senses on high alert for any sign of danger. Suddenly, the ground beneath them began to shake, and the statue's eyes blazed with an intense, fiery light. With a deafening roar, the statue came to life, its massive wings unfurling as it lunged forward to attack. Asika and her companions sprang into action, their weapons flashing in the dim light as they fought to defend themselves against the guardian of the temple. The battle raged on for what felt like hours, the sound of clashing steel and roaring flames echoing through the chamber. Asika and her companions fought with all their strength, determined to overcome the guardian and claim the relic for themselves. At last, after a fierce struggle, they emerged victorious, the guardian lying defeated at their feet. With trembling hands, Asika approached the statue and reached out to touch the Heart of Zamar, a brilliant gemstone that pulsed with an otherworldly energy. As she grasped the relic, she felt a surge of power course through her veins, filling her with a sense of purpose and clarity. With the Heart of Zamar in their possession, Asika and her companions knew that they held the key to unlocking the secrets of the valley and uncovering the truth that lay hidden within its depths. But their journey was far from over. As they made their way out of the temple, they knew that they would face many more challenges and dangers in the days to come. But with the Heart of Zamar guiding their way, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead in their quest to unravel the mysteries of the Valley of Whispers.